Well, his nickname's Lucky Larson, and he got lucky. He's beaten Parker Bone III in their second matchup of the evening, and now Europe lead by 5 points to 1. And it's only day one of the Weber Cup. What a start for Team Europe. You know what? That's just a sea of blue. And unfortunately, the red of America has struggled to stem the tide. Well, it's time for our captain's pick. This is always good fun. And the European team captain, Dominic Barrett, is with Hannah.
Well, Dom, you're in the perfect position going into tomorrow's play, but who have you picked for your captain's pick?
We've picked Kyle Troup. It's his debut. He bowled a good first game. You know, they've got some great bowlers in their teams. Doesn't really matter who we pick, but we wanted to give Kyle another go. We felt like going in after what's happened on the lane just before, that he's the one that we were going to put up as, you know, I'm going to say their weakest player, because he certainly isn't. But that was the best opportunity for us to try and get a point.
So 6-1 is what you're hoping for going in. Is it almost a training match you're giving Kyle here?
No, not really. I think whoever's going to be playing him is looking forward to it as well. And we're treating every game, you know, we've got a good advantage now. We've got what we needed to do this session so far. But there's a long way to go until Sunday night, so every point counts.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's great fun, this captain's pick, and the captain's pick the opposing team's player. Guy Kaminsky, what do you think of that? Picking a rookie, what do you make of that captain's pick?
Well, I think the rookie was, it must have been, in my opinion, between Marshall and Kyle, because being a rookie on debut here, what's interesting to note about it is that they're obviously picking the player they think will score the lowest. Not that they're the worst player, but that they're thinking what's out there at the moment is they thinking that Kyle will bowl the lowest game of the 4 of them that they have to choose from. So it's not necessarily the worst player, it's just who they think will get the lowest score out there. But obviously now we wait to see who America will pick for Europe.
We do. Absolutely fascinating. Let's go over to the American team captain, who is with Hannah.
Well, Parker, desperate to get your second point of the evening. Who are you picking from Team Europe for your captain's pick?
Well, since I'm the oldest guy out here, and one of the guys that sat the longest on their team happens to be the first singles match, that would be Dominic Barrett. We're going to pick Dominic Barrett to bowl this final match against Kyle Troup.
And can you give us a little bit of an insight as to why you've picked Dominic Barrett?
Well, we feel like he's sat on the bench the longest, and being here at home in England, he needed a little more air time, so we're going to put him up against our young gun, and we're going to let the two of them battle it out this last game.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
He's very game, isn't he, Parker Bone III? But that's a big call because Dom Barrett's the team captain, and he's played in this tournament so many times.
He has, but I actually love the call. I think, you know, if you want to attack somebody, you go for the captain. You got to get to the head, the leader of the group first, and see if you can chop him down, and then hopefully the rest will follow. So it's an aggressive play, but obviously it can backfire quite easily. Dom can get a bit agitated and come out here and probably shoot 300 and just silence everybody out here. But I do like the play. It's an aggressive play by Parker, so let's see how it pays off for him.
A difficult decision, because in the past in the captain's pick, you've essentially got the captain picking the opposing team's player. They'll go for a player who's had a bit of a mare out here on the lane, but all the European players are playing great tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Martin was probably the obvious pick, but we can see the difference between his first game and the second game, and having been out on the lane and being warm, obviously removed him from the selection panel from America. So they were left with obviously Stewart, Jesper, and Dom. They obviously didn't want to go with Jesper being left-handed, and I think they thought, let's go for the leader of the pack.
They have. They've gone for the jugular. Let's just confirm what's going on over the next few minutes, because it is time for our captain's pick, and it is the European team captain who has been picked, Dominic Barrett, up against the rookie Kyle Troup. That's next, and that's our final match of the evening here at Weber Cup 17. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome captain's pick, Kyle Troup.
The man from Taylorville, North Carolina, with a headband on to hold that throwback, the flamboyant Kyle Troup.
And now the captain's pick for Team Europe. It is the captain, Dom Barrett.
the 31-year-old European captain Don Barrett from Colchester in England. 4 titles on the PBA Tour, including the World Championship.
Well, it's going to be a really interesting encounter, this one, Cass, isn't it? The most experienced Weber Cup player, the captain of Europe, Don Barrett, up against the rookie, Kyle Troup, who was beaten by Jesper Svensson in the Battle of the Rookies in the opening game. His first stab at a singles match at the Party Poker Weber Cup. And what an opportunity this is, given Barrett's experience and the form he showed in that opening game against Wes Malott. Remember, 9 strikes. There's a great chance of 5-1 becoming 6-1, and dare I say it, Cass, a touch of deja vu from last year.
It certainly would be that way. Yes, it was 5-1 at this stage last year. Guys are just having a practice ball each. Final word from the teammates. 252 was not a bad score, but it wasn't good enough, I'm afraid. With 5 strikes, no open frames.
50% strike rate. He's certainly going to have to up that here against the player in the form of Don Barrett, who won 5 of his 7 matches played in last year's Weber Cup. 2 singles and 3 doubles victories. Just a couple of losses in the singles. Both players going through their final practice throws, the final match of the opening session of Weber Cup 17. 8 all, remember. Both nations have, both teams I should say, have had a run of winning 3 in a row. Europe looking to become the first to win 4 back-to-back Weber Cups and thus lead for the very first time in the series. 278, his last score, 9 strikes. He really wasn't that far off a 300 game, just that one open frame cast costing him.
Absolutely, yeah, and a 90% strike rate under this World Bowling scoring system, which is new to the Weber Cup. And it'll be new to a lot of people watching, but I've got a feeling it's going to be used and utilised in many TV finals in the future. And it's a little bit of forward thinking from the Weber Cup boys.
Well, it is the first time since 2004 that the Weber Cup has been held in Greater Manchester. On the 2 previous occasions when it was held in Altrincham, 2003 and 2004, Europe won both of them. And it's looking at a pretty good hunting ground again for the European team.
Yeah, there's been quite a few changes this year, not only the location but the time of the year. Several debutants in the lineups as well. So let's hope it's a change for the better.
Yeah, last year's 17-8 win was Europe's most convincing win, although the USA's 17-7 win in 2012 remains the biggest. Of course, that could all change this time because it's the first to 19 this year.
That's right, yes. But having said that, with possibly a 6-1 victory in the first session for Europe, it may not last that long.
Teammates out there on stage for moral support and no doubt a bit of guidance as well for Troup from the 2 more experienced players, Malott and Bone out there.
I was just going to say, yes, it doesn't look like a singles game. There's 8 players out there, aren't they?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Baker match number 2 for a second.
Now, as you say, they're all giving just words of advice and encouragement. Try this, try that, maybe. This is the second game that's been bowled on this lane since it's been redressed. It's a 40-foot oiling pattern with a 4-to-1 ratio, so the centre of the lane has got four times much oil on it as the outside boards. And the 2-hander.
Well, Kyle Troup, remember, who struggled in his first singles match. The reason behind the fact he was the captain's pick this time from Europe. Interesting, though, that Don Barrett, the captain himself, has been picked, but Parker Bone III just explaining, Cass, that he's been sat out there for a long time having to watch the action.
Well, that's one of the reasons, yes. Once you've bowled a game or 2 and then you sit down for 2 hours, you tend to sort of tighten up and the muscles get tight and you really need a good warm-up to get going again. So that's the reason behind it. As soon as Don Barrett's name was raised as the captain's pick, I looked back and saw he'd scored 278 and I thought, well, maybe he's not the man to pick really, but he's certainly on fine form. He's one of the hottest properties in the world of bowling at the moment. And Carl Troup has got to try and beat him to put another point on the board for Team USA.
Apparently Parker Bone III's first choice was you, Cass, and then found out that you weren't eligible for this, so plump for Don Barrett instead.
Yeah, I'm afraid my bowling days were over a few years ago. Oh, more than a few years ago.
Great shot from Don Barrett. Well, it doesn't look as though he's been sat out for 2 hours, does it?
Well, I mean, it could backfire, couldn't it, if it was worth 19 pins.
So 109 plays 79. A strike here for Troup will have us level after 4 frames.
Here goes Carl to wrap his fingers around the ball. 2 fingers in the ball, no thumb, and that left hand comes round behind. There's the traditional 2 wipes of the left hip to dry his hand, and it wraps it right round. And those fingers will snap that ball and put a lot of rotation on it.
Great shot.
It will hit the pocket and take 10.
Lovely shot from Carl Troup. 3 in a row for him.
Ties the game up at 109 apiece.
Some high quality bowling we're seeing tonight from both teams, despite the rather one-sided looking scoreline, and he's really getting into the groove now.
Yeah, quite a flamboyant player with his head style, famous father, and some of the clothes he wears on tour are a bit outrageous at times.
But what can you do about that? Don Barrett again, taking all 10. And of course we've seen the flamboyance of the great Pete Webber at times at the Webber Cup, this competition that's named after his father, Dick, of course. And Carl Troup brings a bit of that flamboyance back, doesn't he? Minus the sunglasses and a bit more hair.
Well, interestingly, Carl and his father are only one of the 4 father and sons that have actually won PBA tours. You mentioned Dick and Pete Webber, Carl and Guppy Troup, Don and Jimmy Johnson, and Don and Eugene McCune are the only other father and sons that have won PBA titles on the tour. And that's a trivia question for anybody that goes to a bowling quiz.
Told them the answer now.
Well, yeah, but you know.
I'm not going to a bowling quiz with you, by the way, not unless you're on my team. Troup takes away the spare, but having got himself level, slips behind again.
Yes, 11 pins come and 11 pins go, depending on whether you strike or spare. Still very high maximums if they both strike out. But Barrett has the 11-pin lead.
Currently second in the European Bowling Tour overall rankings. But of course that doesn't tell the full story, Cass, doesn't it? He's 11 points behind Richard Teese, but he's played an awful lot less bowling on the European Tour.
Yeah, this is right. I mean, I think Richard Teese has played 9 tournaments and Dom's played about 3, because Dom plays the World Tour and the American Tour in the States. He cannot always get back to play the European events. And this is what it is. If you're a world beater, you have to travel and rack up those air miles.
Europe's top bowler in 2010, 2012, 2013. He was second last year. It's a lovely shot again from Don Barrett. 5 from 6 for Europe's captain, and well, I hate to say it, Cass, it's still in the balance, but that captain's pick could well be backfiring here.
On Parker Bone, yeah. He picked Don Barrett because Don has been sitting around for a couple of hours and hasn't played. You wouldn't think so, the way he's going. Pacing 289.
Well, the glum-looking American team sat down there. Marshall Kent looking to the heavens. They need a bit of divine inspiration. And that's a terrific shot from Troup again.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Carl is actually playing a very good game. He's only had two spares and the rest have all been strikes. And he finds himself still trailing after frame 6.
Well, he shot 252 in his previous match-up with Jesper Svensson, but lost that one by 12 pins. As you say, there's a potential 278 score here, which may not be enough.
Well, that's right. If Barrett goes off, strikes off for 289, That would be crazy.
And he's threatening to do it.
And he's still at it. Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, it's proving to be another dominant display here from Europe.
Yeah, with the Baker win to start the night, every European player has won at least one singles game. Martin was the only one that's lost. And so it will be a great result for the first session. Although Troup is trying hard here to hang in.
Barrett looking for win number 2. Great shot from Troup. He's not going away yet.
He's actually playing a very good game. Very good indeed. He's hanging in there against one of the hottest properties on the world bowling scene in the shape of Dom Barrett.
Well, he certainly won't have given up on this, Troup, but even if he is to lose here, I think he's going to make Dom Barrett think about picking him the next time there's a captain's pick.
Difficult choice.
It was almost the toss of the coin, I think, wasn't it, between Troup and Marshall Kent, the 2 rookies?
Well, I would have thought so, yes. It would appear that Stuart Williams is trying to beat up a moth or a fly that's settled on the lane, and Stuart's is the ideal man to do it.
Beef stew making a fly stew, maybe. Not quite as tasty.
Well, he certainly put the boot in. One more, Dom.
No mistake! Well, whatever insect invaded the lane, it certainly didn't put off Dom Barrett. Moves on to 229.
3 strikes in a row, 1 spare, 4 strikes in a row is the scorecard of Dominic Barrett. Not much Troup can do about it, except put the ball in the pocket and get another strike. Just try and hang in there. Hopefully, wait for a mistake from Barrett.
Well, to bowl a good game and lose is probably more psychologically damaging than just having a low score. It's another strike for Troup. That's 6 now. And he remains within 11 points, and he is keeping that pressure on Dom Barrett to remain perfect.
Yeah, this is quite exceptional from the debutant, Troup. He's bowling a really good game under pressure from the European captain. We're up to the foundation frame, which is frame number 9. Barrett just taking his time. He's not going to be rushed. He knows it's an important ball here. This could be the one that sews it up.
Well, with 7 strikes out of 8 frames, he may have felt that he perhaps should have been across the line, but Troup has done really well. And there was a bit of movement there, just to the left of the lane.
Yeah, someone decided to move right in the eyesight of Dom Barrett. So he did the right thing. He stopped and regrouped. We have no control over people moving their legs or jumping around.
Or insects flying across.
Very important frame here for Barrett, so he's going to take his time. Lots of deep breaths. Make sure that hand and the fingers are dry before they go in the ball.
The strike rate is absolutely sensational from Barrett. 90% in his first singles win over Wes Malott. What a shot again from Dom Barrett. And he's threatening Cass another 9-strike game here.
Could still be 289 with only one more strike.
Scored 278 last time with an open frame. At the moment, we've got 8 spare.
Simple thing is that Troup must strike in this frame and the 10th frame to have any chance. Determined look on his face. He's bowled a really good game here.
Oh, it came in far too soon. It's a horrible split. And Europe are going to lead 6-1.
A huge error. Overreaction in the back end, straight through the face, breaks nothing up, leaves the big 5.
Is that tension, Cass? Just makes him put too much on that ball?
He knew it was a really important ball. He knew he had to strike to stay in with a chance for the 10th frame. He's looking at the TV monitor on the stage, but he knows it's all gone.
And
He's not going to come back from this.
Heading for a second straight defeat here, having lost to Svensson.
So his maximum score drops down to 263. He takes just the one.
Well, 6 scored on an open frame. I think that's the least we've seen tonight.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate.
So Don Barrett then with the final ball, shake of the head from Troup, because again he knows he's bowled pretty well, Cass.
It doesn't really matter. A change of ball from Don Barrett, and he takes just 6 spins, but he's 259 before he threw that ball, so he knows it's all over.
Exhibition time again. Straight through the middle from Don Barrett, but no matter. It is a second win for Europe's captain, a second defeat for Troup, the rookie. And Europe in a commanding position after the first session. Troup just to see out the last frame.
Well, it's good that the audience are helping him out. It has been a good game. Just the one error in the 9th frame cost him absolutely dearly. Just another 9 there in the 10th, so a spare there. It's going to be 243 if you can spare this one, and it's all over.
Well, not a particularly good first session for Troup. I think he almost forgot he's got another bowl.
He doesn't have to throw it.
But I think despite those defeats, Cass, there's plenty more to come from Troup here.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think the crowd have taken him to heart. The flamboyant man. It's a great game, but he's come up against Don Barrett in really hot form.
The captain's pick then, flying up in the face of Parker Bowden III. 2 wins for Don Barrett. Europe in a commanding position. They lead by 6 points to 1.
Well, what about that? What an incredible evening for Team Europe. Don Barrett's on fire. The American team is terrified. They're not quite singing that in Manchester just yet, but they might well be tomorrow, because that was a commanding performance from the European team captain. And look at this. Look at all the blue on the scoreboard. An absolutely perfect start. Nearly perfect. The only bit of red on there, Parker Bowden III leading from the front in his win over Martin Larsson. We'll have plenty of reaction from the captains, and we'll hear from Guy Kaminsky in a couple of moments as well. We'll see you in a sec.